And today I'm going to bring a live broadcast of the unnecessariness of one particular monster fight. I am going to be showing you an actual clip, and kind of really getting to that point right now. My point with this game, what I'm showing is something very unnecessary. And what today I'm going to do is I'm going to respond to an SOS. And actually, I like to usually collect the rewards, but I'll show you the unnecessary BS that Capcom has actually made. There's, look, I understand there's like real-time environmental things here, but and truth of the matter is, let's go to assigned, and we'll go to, well, I can understand about the Hellish Fiend Valhazak. I'm still trying to get something out of that. A couple of thing pluses, and normally what I do is, or I go into optional, special arena, which is Tobi-Kadachi, which I've done, which I'm okay with Tobi-Kadachi. I've actually fought this one, but didn't complete it all the way. Somebody had died. I'm going to show you exactly what I mean by unnecessary BS with this game. And I think personally Capcom needs to go back to making fighting games. But then again, we want to leave it to the geniuses of Capcom trying to get this real environment thing, which is kind of bullshit. Well, I can't really find the one I'm looking for, but let me go back and let me try again to select the, we'll do no preference, high rank awards, and show you what I'm talking about by unnecessary bullshit with this dragon right here, for an example. There's no reason to there's really no reason for what I'm about to show you. You faint 3 times. Okay, now we're going to join into the match. Now, as far as anything, I will show you the unnecessary bullshit, which you're about to see. Which I think that Capcom and should have maybe reconsidered about certain things in this game. Certain things that I personally don't like. And when I said in my other videos about hit or miss, I meant that my personal feelings about where I'm seeing this going as far as like the Capcom games go. Don't get me wrong, Monster Hunter World is good, but it may not be for everybody, and I'm already at that point where I said when I was in between, and I was on the sitting fence between either liking it or not liking it. I got pretty far in it, but I'm at that point where now I'm just really getting kind of a bit tad more annoyed than usual with the game. My personal feelings about where I'm going to be sitting on this is something I've been finalizing my review. What I felt like in my other video, if it was worth buying, and like I said, for me being a Dark Souls person, not really all particularly keen about where I'm going with this right now. I'm gonna show you exactly how unwanted and unnecessary some of this is. So if there's any vulgarity in my video on this, then you know. If not, then you can see exactly where I'm going with the game. As you know, as I found the Blue Trail, I'm actually in the reef, the Recess Reef. And as you can tell already, there's people fighting him. This is, as you know, I'm using a Dragon Bone too, which is okay against dragons, but trying to get Okay, like that right there. I don't have any health, so I'm gonna have to plant this in, which I think this is complete utter bullshit, considering the fact that he took about that much of damage from me. I'm starting to get the idea that this sort of thing is really unnecessary. I mean, he roars, he stuns you, but he does really some cheap shit, which I have an issue with. Now, by showing you the unnecessary bullshit that's been going on, is that whole stunning thing, and then he hits you like that, which I think Capcom should be sticking back to their fighting games. I think this is not... I think that they were trying to do what they thought they could do is by saving their fucking asses for doing this sort of shit. As you can tell, it seems that, you know, question mark, which I still haven't figured fully anything out. I'm going to try switching over to my lightning bow. Hopefully that will work. My lightning bow, which may work a little bit better, I might have a fighting chance with it, but don't quote me on it. I think the developers that made Monster Hunter World and its environments need to be a bit more better. The unnecessariness of this game. I mean, one-shotting somebody, even like close to a complete set of epic armor, it shouldn't be this much of an issue. And what I have an issue with is the fact that, like I said, I was on the fence, you know, in between of whether if I like it or I don't like it, and being somebody who's actually playing Dark Souls, the Dark Souls series, like 2 and 3, I'm starting to see that this game right now is starting to become more of an utter waste of my time. Not very thrilled about the way they did this layout. I mean, okay, like I said, the environmentals are good. Everything is good to a point, but I'm starting to see that this unnecessary bullshit. Right here, if you see the tornado, this is where this dragon will spam them on and on and on, constantly over and over and over again. And the worst part about it is when you start doing that, like a game developer makes that where it's a constant tornadoes, you start to see where the flaws are. You start to see that if it's too many tornadoes, you can't see where the dragon is, which makes it more annoying and just as difficult. My personal take on the whole game so far is that Monster Hunter World should be improved a lot more. I think they need to tone down on the tornado aspect of it. I mean, in the aspect of things, I understand the Japanese are trying to make this as like the Dragon of the Heavens, which the Dragon of the Heavens actually in the Japanese myths was of wind, rain, and snow, or more like wind and rain. And there was the Dragon of the Earth, which would be considered Belhazet. You know, I understand, you know, the Japanese, you know, I can't fault Capcom, I can't fault anybody, you know, I can't fault the Japanese community on this, but I think the unnecessary tornadoing, like I said, the unnecessary tornadoing is kinda, I mean, the elements and everything are fine, it's just the game itself, I think certain aspects, like the story mode was kind of mediocre. I already got through the mediocre part of it all, but now when I show you the key aspect, like his body slam, like his little body plunge right there, that should not one-shot you or try to in any shape, way, or form. I just need to drink up real quick. And hopefully I don't get one-shot again like that. And I have a gut feeling he's going to start flying at me. Which one thing that I find about the relapse time on this, I mean, I understand you're trying to do the real-time shit, but I think maybe it should just... I think Capcom, in my personal opinion, I think Capcom should stick back to fighting games. But then again, their whole fiasco that happened with Tekken versus Street Fighter, in my opinion, was pretty shitty at best. I think because they made all these fighting games, they didn't... See, I don't know where he's going to land, which is another thing. So usually I take an advantage to try to kill off this guy right here. And I try to do as much damage as I possibly can without getting myself in the way of things. However, being that said, where I see myself with Dragon Hunter World right now, if I decide to remotely beat the final boss, which I think is another bullshit story on its own, the final boss, even if you have an upgraded weapon, it doesn't help very much in the aspects of things that should not be like, now you look at the tornado where he just popped one up. Now you have the wind breath he normally does. And now watch what happens. Those tornadoes will stay there for a while. But what sucks is you can't do anything. You can't really avoid him if he traps you. Like if he does that like more than one tornado, you can't do anything about it. Which you can't roll out of it, and it does a lot more damage probably than anything. Like I said, the roar that he does is really cheap. And that shit he just pulled was just as cheap. And when I'm starting to think about this entire game, I think it's becoming relatively apparent that Capcom needs to tone this shit down. And I get fucking one-shot. This is the reason why this game is a joke. I mean, if this is something... I mean, you the consumer, who doesn't matter how good your weapons are, doesn't matter how good your gears are, or if you try dodging and they roar and they stun you, this is by far the worst game I've ever played, in my personal opinion. This is not for everybody, but I'm about to lose my patience with the game. You know, for me sitting here right now is just like, I'm so fed up with it. I mean, Capcom, what the fuck were you doing? I mean, you have some monsters who just, you know, like this one in general, just spamming tornadoes left and right. Or, you know, that was in the last one I was in. You know, it was a constant spamming of tornadoes. This is bullshit right here. I don't care if the game came from Japan or not. It's just the fact is, you know, this is new to people who have not played the Monster Hunter series. For those who have never played it, don't even bother getting this. I mean, I'm not going to waste any more time. Look at this bullshit. You faint 3 times and it's game over. So at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm putting this game away because I'm going to start getting gamer rage. And I'm trying to be very calm about this. I mean, I've been very patient so far. Gotten up to this point so far in the game, and you know, I've been very patient about it. You know, I understand it's environmental stuff. I understand that, you know, you're doing, you know, the developers at Capcom did their job for this shit. But as far as where I go with this game, like I said in the past, in my previous videos, I was sitting on the sitting fence in between. I'm no longer going to get involved with this Monster Hunter game because I think this is downright bullshit. You faint 3 times, the mission fails. Even if you have good armor, you're still going to have problems. You know, it doesn't matter whether if you have a bow or a sword, but, you know, I mean, the whole bullshit part of it is also the fact that you have to... It's a long continual grind, which I think is complete utter bullshit. Even if you complete the story mode, even if you complete all your quests, you still have to grind long hours. I've been putting like over 80 hours into the game, and I'm just getting to that point now. It's like I'm saying, fuck it. I'm no longer going to be doing any more streaming of the Monster Hunter videos. And Capcom, for the love of God, go back to fighting games. Obviously, you don't know anything about the MMO world. I mean, you could probably say, yeah, okay, you done Monster Hunter World and like your Nintendo versions, but for you to come onto like a PS4 and for an Xbox One, you obviously must be desperate for money, and this is how I feel that, you know, my perspective on this game and my own thoughts and my own opinion is what I feel is that this whole discontent of what you did for this game is by far one of the worst things you've ever done. But that's just my opinion. This is how I feel. I've been doing 80 plus hours into the grind already. I mean, sorry if I'm bitching about it, but this is the truth I am feeling, and this is how I am going to be feeling for the rest of, you know, for the time being of this. But you know what? I said my piece. I'm getting the hockey puck off the channel streaming before I really start to do something very drastic to this game. But anyways, I'm off. So give a thumbs up if you like how I'm feeling about the channel. Give a thumbs down. Give a thumbs down if you don't like it. Leave a comment, whatever. You know, whether if you like or unlike. Subscribe, and I'll be shooting up more videos. Hopefully better than what I've been doing with these crappy ass games. And I'm also done. I'm gonna start heading into playing back into Dark Souls 3. Goodbye, Monster Hunter. Fuck you, Capcom. Have a nice day.